all these war drums beating for Iran. As I mentioned, I think there are already 4,000 heavily armed U.S. troops in Poland. As I said, Germany, Canada, and the UK have in the three Baltic states just added 1,000 troops in each case. And not much mention about it in the Western mainstream media, like you'd never get any real mention in Western media or any condemnation about the land theft by Israel. They call themselves broadcast networks. They are, I like to call them narrowcast because it's the same BS that comes out. We've got to defend the homeland, defend our way of life. And one of the other things I spoke about as a result of this, and this is a big problem in Europe particularly, is this flooding of immigrants and refugees into the UK. Where's Saudi Arabia? Where's Israel? Where's any of these our great allies when it comes to taking any of these people? They don't need to be coming into Europe. And this is by design, I believe. But whether by design or not, the result will be the same. This is going to cause, and is in the process of causing, if it continues, an irrevocable, destructive alteration to the demographics of Europe, which is already and is going to result in inevitable increased cultural tensions. And as I say, we've already witnessed this tension going on and its ultimate chaos, and it's going to result ultimately in a very different Europe. These people know you change the demography of a place, and they completely shift the demographics of Europe, and you're not going to have a indigenous white European peoples anymore. This is genocide, under the radar. You can't have a flood of thousands of Arab Muslims coming into Europe. The two cultures are foreign to each other, okay? And there's no point saying that you're a racist or that you don't like multiculturalism and that you're behind the times, you're not progressive enough. These people are naive fools. You get these people in those sorts of numbers, and it's not racist, and it's not against them personally or their religion. It will flood the culture or the continent, and will cause extreme tension, which is already doing. And you're having Europe's finally woke up. They should have woken up before we invaded all our countries, before the West invaded them, driven, as I believe, as I've said before, for the interest of Israel. You'll have to look at AIPAC and all the influence of Zionist Jews in the British Parliament, and their influence, the Ashkenazi ownership and control of the media that are driving these wars in the Middle East. And the same people, I believe, want to change the demographics of Europe for the divide and conquer purposes, but because they hate, I believe, the white Christian culture and the white European peoples. And like Gerald said, Europe is in the same mess as the US economically, culturally, and everything else. We don't need, to be opening up our borders with bleeding heart, liberal, over emotional arguments. It's not hard-hearted to say, listen, our own house is a mess. It's going to destroy any serenity and harmony in the continent having that level of numbers. A small amount of numbers, I think, is healthy. I don't mind. I lived in London for a long time. I like people, into different ways of life and different cultures and everything else, but not en masse, not hundreds of thousands of people coming in, millions coming in. The infrastructure of the country gets stretched and bent. And it's just naive to say that, we should all just live happily ever after in some multicultural utopia. Again, what it will do is irrevocably alter the demographics of Europe, resulting in inevitable, we're already seeing it, tension, chaos, and a very different Europe. And not a Europe where the indigenous people who've been here for hundreds of years and centuries have a say like they used to. You can't bring that many people in who are of a different culture. Those people become voting blocks. They become politicians. They're already doing. We have a Muslim guy who's, mayor of London. And it's not a witch hunt against Muslims. There are plenty of peaceful Muslims, but it doesn't matter who you bring in big numbers, that is going to affect the culture, and it's not going to affect it in a way that the indigenous people are going to enjoy.